All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out Doflamingo. That's right, Don Quixote Doflamingo from OP-01 in the OP-07 format. This leader, guys, was always like pretty solid for what his effect was. You know, for a 3-Don investment, you're getting to swing for 7 with your leader and potentially cheat out a 4 cost on the field at the same time. Like, that was always a very good effect. However, it was this leader was kind of lacking a little bit of support. But as of EV01 and OP-07, I think he might have finally gotten maybe not all the support he needs, but he got some much needed support that's going to push him up the tier list, I think, you know, in a pretty good way. And of course, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. So real quick, guys, just to give you a quick layout for the video to tell you how things are going to go. We're going to check out some decks over in the East from OP-07 running this leader that are doing very well right now, and from there, we'll check out some games on the sim to see how the deck runs and, you know, see how to pilot it a little bit. And then finally, we'll look at the deck at the end that I'm running, and we'll do some final thoughts and, you know, wrap it up from there. So you know what you're getting into, guys. We are going to be doing a little bit of spoilers. OP-07 is about a month and a half away still, but we do have to check out some OP-07 cards. So, what better way to start off than with the leader right here, guys? Let's read what it does, and we can go from there, especially for the newer players. This is a 5,000 power, 5 life leader. Excuse me. With Dawn ×2, when attacking, pay 1, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. If that card is a 7 Warlords of the Sea-type character card with a cost of 4 or less, you may play that card rested. Now, understand, it doesn't go to the bottom if it's not a 4 or less. It just stays on top, and now your opponent knows what you're drawing. But, you know, every now and then you'll have to do, like, you know, or not, you don't have to, but every now and then you're probably going to do a blind reveal just to see if you can get something from the top. You know, it happens. But generally speaking, you're going to set your top cards of your deck with cards like Perona here, okay, top 5, you know, arrangement card, and Doflamingo here, the 3-cost top 5 arranger. Okay, so just to give an idea of how that works, you know, if you guys have any comments, questions, suggestions, please, you know, put them down in the comment section below. But the idea is you're going to set your top life card, or top life card, I always do that. Set your top card, set the top 5 cards of your deck with cards like Perona and cards like Doflamingo, and then you're just going to get them for free if they're a 4-cost or lower 7 Warlords of the Sea type card. So very, very basic concept, right? And there are a lot of good targets, by the way. Dracula Mihawk, Gecko Moria, a new card from EB01, Edward Weevil. 2 new 2K counters from OP-07 in Crocodile. Or excuse me, it is from OP-07, excuse me. This is a 4-cost 5K, 7 Warlords of the Sea type card, and it's a 2K counter with an effect. And then Trafalgar Law, again, also from OP-07, 4-cost. This one's only a 4K, but that's still fine. We can attach 1 Dawn and Swing and then still use his Activate main if he survives. You know, if you attack life and he gets KO'd or something, you won't be able to do it, but, you know, what are the odds? Okay, 2K counter. Anything can happen, right, guys? I know a lot of people are like, dude, anything can happen. It's true. All right, so let me run through this list, guys, because let me show you something real quick. This list went 9-0 in a 3-on-3 tournament at a 2,100 player Bandai tournament. Now, here's the sad part, guys. Whoever this poor guy's teammates were, look at this. He did not even place in the tournament. They did not even get a placement, like a top placing in the tournament, even though he went 9-0 with the list. So that's unfortunate, but it happens, right? It does happen. But anyway, let's run through this list real quick, and we'll talk about it. So 4 Dracula Mihawk. This is the 2K counter Dracula Mihawk. 4 Gecko Moria. 4 of the Doflamingo blocker, the 3-cost. 4 Perona. 2 of the 4-cost vanilla Gecko Moria. 3 of the 10-cost Kaido that draws 4. 3 Charlotte Pudding. 4 Edward Weevil. 4 Crocodile. 4 Jinbei. 4 Law. Only 2 Boa Hancock. 1 Gum Gum Rain. 3 Red Rocks. 3 Raging Tigers. And 1 Perfume Femur. Okay. Pretty concise list, actually, if you think about it, because all the characters are pretty much 4-ofs, outside of a few like these right here. Like Gecko Moria is a 2-of, it's just a vanilla. Kaido's like your big boss monster, so he's just a 3-of. You don't want to flood your hand with these. Charlotte Pudding is a utility card, so it's just a 3-of. And then so is Boa Hancock. She's kind of a miniature boss card in this deck. Like, yeah, she's only a 6-cost, but think about it. She's vanilla statted. 6 costs, 8,000 power, and a very powerful effect that helps you get later into the game and hold off attacks from your opponent if they drop something big on you. Speaking of whatever your opponent drops on you, you're going to have a lot of answers. You know, Red Rock can take anything out of the way. You know, this card can remove any card from the field. And it's, you know, it is 6 costs. It does cost 6, but if you're paying 6 to remove like a 9 or 10 cost character, or even an 8 cost character, that's pretty nice, right? That's pretty much worth it. And then Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, excuse me, for the decks that go a little bit wider, you'll be able to pop 2 characters with this. Now, there is one really, really nice thing about this card in this deck. When you're at 10 Dawn, right? So this is a 7 Dawn card, right? This costs 7. Well, you'll be able to use this event. Again, this is on a 10 Dawn turn. You'll be able to use this event to get 2 characters out of the way, and you'll have 2 really nice options. Either A, use your leader effect, or B, use your 3-cost Doflamingo if you have it in your hand. So that's a really nice follow-up to an already extremely powerful, play. So really good stuff there. It is running 1 Perfume Femur. This is just a really good card to close games out with. It's a 2-cost. The triggers draw cards. That's nice. But it's a 2-cost main. Up to one of your 7 Warlords of the C-type leaders or characters gains plus 2,000 power during this turn, and then your opponent cannot activate blocker when the selected card attacks. So if your opponent has like a lot of blockers on the field, not a big deal. Like if they have 0 life, you can just pay 2. He gets the 2,000 that he'd normally get from attaching to Dawn, and now he cannot be blocked, so you can just smash through for whatever you need to. This is a great utility card. I actually wish it was at a 2 of, but it's probably, I don't know, if I were to adjust this deck, I'll save most of that for the end of the video, because this is the deck list that I'm running in today's video as well. But I would probably go down a Kaido, like go down to 2 Kaidos, and go up 1 Perfume Femur. Because this one, first of all, like I said, from the trigger, you're drawing a card. That's just great utility. But then it's also going to allow you to get through blockers to maybe take out characters you don't want on the board and stuff like that. It does have quite a few like really solid uses. Okay, but that's about it for the list. There's nothing too complicated here. If you don't know what these characters do, please look them up. They're all very important. They all have a very specific role in the deck. And this Jinbei card is really one of the new cards I want to focus on with Edward Weevil. Let me read what these two do. Excuse me, because these are some of the newer cards. This one's from OP-07 and Weevil's from EB-01. This is a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter character. Very fine, very good stats. It's 7 Warlords of the Sea, so it's perfect with our leader. But check out this on play. Play up to 1 cost 4 or lower 7 Warlords of the Sea type character card other than Jinbei from your hand. So, you see what's going on, guys. Like, this is probably the main combo line to look for in the deck. If you go first, let's just say turn 1, you play out Perona. Let's just talk about the perfect pool, okay, guys? Or, like, what would be close to the perfect pool, if not the perfect pool. If you're going first, which you do want to go first in this deck, just to give you guys a heads up, yes, going first is very beneficial for this deck. And if you go turn 1 Perona, and then follow that up with a turn, and excuse me, when you play the Perona, remember, she can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and rearrange them in any order and return them to the top or bottom of your deck. Okay, here's the nice thing about it. You play her out turn 1, and if you find this card, just set it as your second card from the top. You understand? Because the first card you're going to draw for next turn, okay? And then this will be the top card of your deck when you go to attack. And think about this perfect combo you can potentially get. So again, turn 1 Perona, and then turn 2 attack for 7 with your leader, playing out Jinbei rested, and then Jinbei playing out Edward Weevil from your hand, not rested, and drawing a card. That is very high value, guys. That is a very high value play, and it's on your turn 2 going first. So now your opponent is about to untap with 4 Dawn. They're going to want to play something like, I don't know, like a Borsalino or some type of 4-cost card. And if they try to swing 6 into your Jinbei, you should defend it. Just straight up defend it, because your tempo will be so high at that point. Again, that's if they only swing for 5 or 6. But I think you guys, hopefully y'all see what I'm saying. Okay, so that's like a big combo to look for in the deck. We all know what Pudding does. And if you don't get turn 1 Perona, that's fine. Go turn 2 Doflamingo. You can play Doflamingo out on turn 2, set your cards, and just smash with your leader like normal, and you're sitting behind a 4K blocker. 4K is very nice, actually. For those who are not aware, this annoys law players quite a bit, because they'll never get a perfect like value power reduction on this card. For example, if they try to Otama it, well, that's 2,000 more, and they just wasted a 2K counter to get this little blocker off the field. And they'll do it if they have to, obviously. But then if they have to use a Gordon on it, that's just absolutely like overkill for what they're trying to do. That's minus 3,000 on a 4,000 power character. Feels horrible. And this is just your little 3-cost blocker. You're not even worried about this thing going away. So that 4,000 power is actually more important than you might think. It's, like I said, it's very annoying for the law matchup. And then for a lot of this deck does have like 5,000 power characters. So yes, Law can still deal with it. I'm not saying this deck is perfect, guys. Do understand that. I'm not saying this deck can't be beaten or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a very solid deck. But it has ways to just fill out the board, and that's what we want to do. That's what we need to do, right, in order to get our full amount of tempo to really benefit from what this leader does. Okay, we'll look at one more deck here, one or two more. Let me go to Doffy. Yeah, for some reason it had like this weird what's her name? Ivankov. Or what's his name? Sorry. Sorry, guys. Whatever it is. Ivankov's picture's right here. But this was at a 3-on-3 tournament, 9-0 at a 2,100 player tournament. Okay. And let's look at... Actually, we'll look at both of these. We'll look at the rest of these from OP-07. The lists are almost identical, by the way. Because this has become the package. This has become the standard 7 Warlords of the Sea package going into OP-07. This one is not running the Gum Gum Rain, but I think every single thing else is the exact same. Am I missing something? Let me see. 51 cards in the deck. It does say everything's in here. I don't know what it is off the top of my head that I'm missing. Oh, it's running 4 Gecko Morias. So that takes care of the 3 Red Rocks and 3 Raging Tigers. But where are the other spots? Oh, 4 Puddings, but only 2 of these. Let's look real quick. Sorry, guys, because I feel like there's a card I'm just like overlooking. No, I guess he just distributes the amount of cards a little differently. Because, like I said, he gets rid of the Gum Gum Rain. I think he had 2 Perfume Femurs, but he only has 2 Red Rocks and 2 Raging Tigers. So I wonder what's going on there. 3 and 3. Oh, well, we'll figure it out later. But overall, this is like the exact same deck we were just looking at. Very, very solid here. Yeah, so let me try to do the math here real quick. So he's going -1 Gum Gum Rain to go up 1 Perfume Femur, but he has -2 event cards, 1 Red Rock, 1 Raging Tiger, to go up 4 Boa Hancocks. That's what it is. And instead of going the 2 Gecko Morias, he's running 2 Gecko Morias. Sorry, that was confusing. Like, this guy has it swapped. Instead of running 4 of the utility Gecko Moria that gets cards back from your trash, he's running 4 of the bigger 4-cost 6K vanilla Gecko Moria. Okay. I think that's it. Oh, and then instead of running 3 Kaidos, he's running 2 Kaidos and 4 Puddings. I actually like this list a little bit better. I think it's a little more cleaner. I think it's a little bit cleaner. But other than that, I mean, it's still, you know, both lists are almost identical. And we'll look at one more. This is from a 16-player tournament. Again, very, very similar. This one's not running Red Rocks. It does have all 51 cards in it, but it's not running Red Rocks, but everything else looks pretty much the same. It's running 3 Perfume Femurs, and it's not running the big Kaido either, but everything else is a 4 of. Like, every single card in here is a 4 of. This one I actually like the least, and I think this one's my favorite one, the one in the middle we looked at that had it had 2 Kaidos. That's like perfect. So whenever I'm building decks in my head, I think whatever your boss character is, like the one you just want to see like 1 a game, running 2 of those is like the perfect number in my opinion. But okay, that's it for the deck list, guys. Let's go ahead and dive into some games. The games we're going to check out at first, we're actually going to look at about 7 games. 7 or 8 games. But the first 4 we're going to look at are if people just pretty much rage quitting out of them. So let me, all right, we set up here. Let me turn the volume off and we're good to go. Because, guys, this deck is actually pretty annoying to go against. I think you'll see that with what we're looking at right here. Whoops. Okay, we set up. All right, we're good. So think about it. When you're playing on the sim and you're playing against a deck like Doflamingo, a lot of the times it's going to be me arranging my top cards and then just smashing in, arranging more cards, and then cheating characters out. It's actually, like, very annoying to deal with. Not saying you should just leave games, but I think you'll see what I'm saying here. So right here, I play out my Doflamingo, and I'm like, okay, I can counter out of this for 1K, and then if he attacks into it, it's like I saved a 2K counter. That's why I did that, because now watch. That 7 would have went straight at my face, and I got to counter out of that. Swing 2 into 2. Okay, so now I know what my card is, right, because I set it there with Doflamingo. Smash in for 9, play out a 6K body. He's going to go 6 into 6. I'm not letting you have that card for free, right? Then he plays, let's see what he plays out here. Plays out Queen. And guys, this deck has such strong tempo, I have to say. But right here, I'm trying to remember. I actually don't remember what I do in this game. So let me swing 7 here. Swing 6 first. Of course, swing 6 first. He 1K counters out. Swing 7. Play out my Trafalgar Law. And now I'm about to make him trash a card from hand with that character's effect. That card is very solid. Okay. And here we go. He discards it. play out the Jinbei, to play out the Gecko Moria, to get a card from the trash. Now, hear me out, guys. Hear me out. What I think I should have actually done, looking back, was played out Jinbei again to play out the Trafalgar Law again and return it back to my hand to make him lose another card. That would have been so infuriating. This is an annoying deck to play against, guys, I have to say. Okay, so he played out the Eustace Kid. I'm going to do a top 5 search, and he just quits. Okay, and I'm going to show you a few more games like that, because, guys, this happened quite a bit when playtesting these. Okay, and it just goes to show that it wasn't just one person, and it's not the sim. Like, let me tell you guys right now, yes, I do not play on the ranked ladder very often. I don't play on the ranked ladder, period. But this does not happen to me except when I've played this deck. Let me hit a 2x speed, because usually you just play through and you're good to go. All right, now this, I got the perfect, not quite the perfect pull here, but I got a really good start to this game where I got the Perona, swing for 7, get out the Edward Weevil. He swings 5 into me. I'm not going to let him have that. Plays out Gecko Mori to get a 2k counter back. And right here, guys, this, I think I get so aggressive this turn. Now, I do know what my cards are, right? I did set them with Perona. I believe I still know what this top card is. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I do. So swing in for 8. He sees Law, so they have to counter out aggressively, right? They have to. Okay? But they take it. I did not return my Trafalgar Law, and I could have. If I wanted to, if you want to, you could still use that character's effect to return him back to your hand. He swings 5 into 4. I'm gonna give him a 2k counter. My hand is stacked right now. I don't need. I just want to keep my board state. I don't really need these cards in my hand. Okay, here's a 2k counter, and I win the game. Okay, and that was all it took. My opponent still had 6 Dawn left, and right there they were probably going to go. If I had to guess, they were probably just gonna what's it called? 6 cost Red Rock my Edward Weevil out of the way. I was like, no, I'm just gonna keep attacking. Just gonna keep going in on him here. Okay, next game here. We got Perona, black-green Perona here. Let me go 2x speed. Now, this leader doesn't care as much, you know, like talking about black-green Perona. This is, I would say that Perona is actually probably a natural counter to this deck if it sees its Ryumas, because I'm cheating out 4-cost characters tapped. Well, he can just take them out. See, I wanted to pause this and show you guys. Look at his hand, guys. He could just Ryuma this. Well, actually, first, what I would do is swing 6 into it. Wait, let me see something. No, excuse me, it's a 5. I don't. Why would you do that? All right, on his turn, when he untaps and goes to 4 Dawn for the turn, he could just swing 5 into this, get a card out of my hand, or get my blocker, and then he can KO it with Ryuma. If I let it go, then he just taps down my my Doflamingo, and he KOs that with Ryuma. So I will say this, it is unfortunate this guy left, because I feel like this Perona deck is just a hard counter to what we're doing. Okay, next up is Yamato. I think this was a game where I got one of like the nastiest pulls I'd seen so far. I could be wrong, we'll have to see. Okay, turn 1 pass because I didn't have a Perona. It feels bad when you don't have Perona to start, I will say, but it's not like it's unplayable. Okay. So right here, I play out the top cards of my deck, or I arrange them to the way I want. I get a 2K, I'll have a 2K counter and then an Edward Weevil lined up to play from the top. Okay, 1K counter out of that, and I have a blocker. That's very nice against Yamato, having a blocker. Swing that out, play out the Edward Weevil, draw a card. He swings 6 into it. I really don't want to let him have that, but I also don't want to use too much counter power for my hand, because if I do, then he'll be able to start double attacking across the board at me. Okay, plays out Otama, and remember how I told you how frustrating this deck was to play against, guys? I told you, I tried to warn you guys. There you go. I just popped 2 of his Kikanojos off the board. He's going to swing 7 at face here. I can't let him do that because it's double attack with Banish. He draws 2 cards. And right here, guys, I think this is a blind hit here with my... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is where I get the blind hit with Doflamingo, and I think that's why he quit. It's like I had no idea what my top card was. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to play out my 4-cost Edward Weevil anyway, so let me just smash in with my guy here, and I'll just see if I get a free one. Got Doffy to set my top cards. It was just perfect, and the guy leaves. Okay, don't worry. The rest of the games today, guys, the rest of the games are actually going to be legitimate games where it goes all the way through. I just wanted to show you all that quick little montage video at first of just, like I said, this deck is very annoying to go against, and a lot of people like that, right? A lot of people like to frustrate their opponent a little bit. It creates like a mind game, and it's not that you're trying to frustrate them. It's just that the way this leader is built is all on just inconveniencing your opponent. Like, hey, I'm just going to cheat out this body. Oh, you've got a bunch of cards on the board? Well, I'm just going to bottom deck 2 of them at once. You know what I mean? It's very solid. Okay, so I have Perona here. I did a turn 1 Perona, but I'm going second, which feels weird. But it's actually not that bad after turn 2, because then you can go turn 3 Doflamingo and use your leader effect, which is nice. Okay, so I'm just taking some hits here and there. Neko Mamushi, or excuse me, I think I 2K countered out of that. Yeah, I 2K countered out of the Neko Mamushi. He swings 7 into 6. I don't want to give him my characters on the board if I can stop it. Okay, 2 into 0. He's going to give me the Momonosuke there from Perona's hit. And right here, I do need to start battling for the board. Okay, I have 6 Dawn. I'm going to play out my Doflamingo, set the cards I want on top. This is really nice right here, guys. Watch this. So I had to set my life just right. Okay, now let me explain how I set my life. By the way, that play there. Okay, understand why I did it like this. So I'm going to use my leader's effect this turn. So I'm going to play out Jinbei for my leader's effect. Then from my Jinbei, I'm going to play out my Edward Weevil, which will draw me the Mihawk. Then next turn, I will draw Pudding for the turn, and then I can use my leader effect to play out Jinbei from the top of my deck if needed. Okay, just to explain, this is a pretty intricate deck, I will say. It's like a more skill-intensive version of a mid-range deck. Okay, so swing 7 into 5. He's probably going to give me that or give me 2 cards from hand. I play out 2 more bodies. Look at my board. Like this board is menacing, guys. This board is a threat. And he doesn't know this, but I have 6,000 power and counter in my hand and a blocker on the board. So whatever he tries to get here is probably not happening. Now, that was nice. He hit me with an Arlong. Okay, he hit me with Arlong there to make it where my leader cannot attack next turn. Well, if my leader can't attack, then I can't get that Jinbei that I just put on top. So that's unfortunate. Okay, so I 2K counter out of that because I can use my blocker right here to save whatever character. Didn't have to. Now, right here, my Pudding is just, like, worthless, right? There's like, no reason even... that Pudding is a 1K counter this game. So I'm going to swing 5 here. My plan this turn is actually to Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, his 2 best characters on the board. And I'm attacking first to see if he gets a better target for me to get rid of. Because I don't want him to keep the Cracker. The Cracker can allow him to get back in the game for swinging, you know, double attacks at me. Okay, let's see if he gets anything. He doesn't, so I just take out his 2 best characters in my opinion, which was a 4-cost 6K and the Cracker. He plays out Mihawk, which cheats out a Kikinojo, sets his top life card, but he's going to need a lot more than that. So right here, I have a 2K and 1K in hand, so I'm just going to give him the blocker here, because he's probably going to swing 6 with the Zoro, and I can 2K counter out of that much easier. There you go, exactly like I thought. And he just passes. Now, the game is over right there. This guy didn't rage quit or anything. He just conceded because the game's over. I'll just swing, because this turn I'll be able to swing for 5 with I'll be able to swing my leader, Gecko, Jinbei, and I can even swing with Perona if I need to, right? And he has 1 card in hand. That beige is not going to save him. Okay, next game. This next one is against Boa Hancock. Did I hit play? Yeah. Okay, let me go speed 2x. Okay, I do think this deck is a little bit stronger than Boa, like maybe just a little bit. Not saying that Boa can't win, but in the mirror match, right, like Boa versus Doffy, I think Doffy has a slight edge. I could be wrong, and y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. Of course it depends on the pilot. Of course it depends on who goes first. It depends on a lot of factors. But overall, like generally speaking, I feel like Doflamingo has a small advantage because it can cheat out more bodies, and they run the same exact removal package. And they run the same in-game package. But instead of being able to draw a card, like in Boa Hancock's case, Doflamingo is just cheating the card out. So it's like you're drawing a card, quote-unquote, but you're really just like cheating it into play, even better. Okay, so he sets his top 5 cards with his own 3-cost Doflamingo here. Very nice. He's got a pretty decent board here to battle into whatever I want to do next. Because if I want to try to get aggressive with my Perona, he can swing into him with the Sengokus. We're just waiting on my opponent here, guys. Let me make sure it's in 2x speed. Okay, it is. So I hit him with a Pudding. That is a devastating, brutal attack there. He had 7 cards in hand, I believe. It was 7 or 8, I can't remember. So now I'm going to swing 7 into him. 5 here, 7 there. And that was a good turn for me. I reset everything he just got. Like, he just did 2 hand-fixing cards with Sengoku, and I just got rid of that completely. Okay, unfortunately, I have no 2K counters right now, so I do have to let my Edward Weevil go. He plays out another Doflamingo, and now it's back to my turn. Now, one thing that does feel bad, and you'll realize this when you're playing the deck and play testing it and trying it out, if you don't know what your top 5 cards are, that's a real feels bad type of moment. So I am in a situation where I'm kind of blind. It's like, okay, I'm not going to use it though. I'm not just going to use that effect. I'm going to swing out with my board to the best of my ability here. So I swing 5 with pudding. I swing 7. I think I swing 7 here with my leader and not activate the effect. And then I play out Edward Weevil to draw a card and get a body on the board. Okay, I'm trying to draw through cards. I'm trying to get to another Perona, or I'm trying to get to another what's his name, Doflamingo. And I just can't find them. Like they just, you know, sometimes you get hit with, you know, bad luck from your pulls, from your draws, but that's okay. Okay, so right here, I think I just go ahead and establish this Boa, and then I just do a blind reveal there because I had exactly enough Dawn to do my leader effects and swinging 7. I just need to get a body on the board. If he wants to Red Rock this, or if he wants to Gravity Blade Raging Tiger this, be my guest. You know, I don't mind at all. I just needed to do something on the board to get me to the next turn with some momentum and to try and get some value from the top of my deck. Swings 8. I'm going to take it. It's a Gecko Moria. Plays out Jinbei, which plays out Gecko Moria, and then he plays out Doflamingo. That was a really nice turn for my opponent. Yes, he is down 3 cards, but he knows what his top 5 cards are going to be. He has them set. So right here I have an option. Do I want to just play out the big body? Because my opponent is at 3 or less life. That is something to remember, guys. Your opponent does have to be at 3 or less life for Kaido. Do I want to play out the bigger body, or do I want to just wipe the board? And for me, the answer was just totally wipe the board. Wiping the board for me there is just better, in my opinion, because I still have stuff he has to deal with. Okay, and perfect. This is a turn I needed where he played out a decent body that I can deal with. Like, it's a problem, but I can deal with it. But now I can actually play out something bigger and have a more meaningful turn. Because even though Boa Hancock is a bigger attacker than Jinbei and the 4-cost Gecko Moria 5K, it's still just 1 attack, right? It's still just 1 attack versus 2, and that's like a little bit better for what I'm trying to do. Or what I choose to do here is I can also set my cards with a Perona. I don't know when I drew that Perona. I must have missed that. Because like I said, if you can set your top cards with Perona or with Doflamingo, that's the best case scenario. Because you can start creating so much momentum there. Look at that. Played out a Jinbei. That played out the 4-cost Vanilla Gecko Moria. I still have 6 Dawn left to play with here. And there goes your 6-cost Perona. And they go ahead and quit there. A little bit premature, I think, but at the same time, they were fighting for a severe disadvantage. And whatever they played this turn, if they had not wiped my board, 10-cost Kaido's coming down. Okay, really good stuff there. Okay, I got 2 more games for you. We got one. This is like more of a funner game against Vegapunk. You know, this leader is about to get a lot of support in OP-08. Talking about Vegapunk, I won't spoil anything from that, but it is about to get a lot of love from OP-08, a lot of support. But for now, man, this poor leader on the sim almost feels free, and that's no offense to Vegapunk players. Don't worry. Like I said, you're about to get some love. You're about to get some support. But geez, guys, it's a long way out. You know, it feels like it's a long way out. Excuse me, or a long way away. Okay, so I did get to go first, so I got a pretty nice curve. Turn 1 Perona into turn 2 Doflamingo. He's going to swing 9 into my face. I do not agree with that. I'm sorry. You need to beat my board. You need to tackle my board, because I'm just going to ignore your guy, right? Like that guy right there. First of all, it can't even be KO'd unless I have equal or less life than my opponent. Like, I can't even attack into it. But right here, okay, I'm going to swing 7. I get this guy. Now he has to trash a card from that Trafalgar Law's effect. Okay, let's see what he trashes. Just waiting for him. It doesn't trash the card. It actually puts it on the bottom of the deck. And now I'm going to swing 6 in the face. It's like you could have saved yourself 1 attack by attacking into my Doflamingo, but now, you know, that determined how my entire turn was going to go. Okay, so now he figured it out. He said, okay, yeah, that was a mistake, and I agree, but it might be too late. I'm really considering countering out of this, because I have 3 2Ks, and remember, I've got 3 more 2Ks coming off the top of my deck, so I really considered countering out there. But it's like, no, that's all right, because he'll swing into it again with the other one. We'll just let it go. So right here, I'm at 7 Dawn. Gravity Blade, get that card out of here. I probably should have swung first to like threaten attacking into that Shaka with my Perona, but I feel like that would have just been a bad call. Okay, but I Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, those cards off the board. He plays out a Luffy. He doesn't swing with his blocker, which is pretty smart, I guess. See, I don't know. I probably would have swung with the blocker because I only have 1 attack coming in from my leader this turn. But this will be somewhat of a dead turn compared to what I normally have. So swing 7. Play out the Edward Weevil. I've got 3 Dawn left to set my life cards after this. Or I can swing 5 with Perona because I do know it's coming. Okay. Actually, there's no point swinging 5 with Perona because he has Shaka. Okay, so I go ahead and set the cards the way I want them. I'm going to draw into a Kaido. Then I'll be able to play out the Jinbei for the turn with my leader effect and go from there. And my hand is completely stacked at this moment, at this point, guys. Now my opponent does have that has Lucy on the board, not Luffy, but Lucy, right? You know, wink, wink, of course. Now right here he swings 10. I'm not letting him have that. And if he swings 7, I'm going to 2K counter out. That Luffy. Let me pause right there. Yeah, let me go back. 1 second, guys. Oh, okay, it's on it. So this Lucy card is from OP-07. It is a 6-cost 7K, no counter, but when attacking once per turn, you may put the top or bottom card of your life into your hand, and then rest up one of your opponent's cost 4 or less characters. Then if your life total is 1 or less, place the top card of your deck onto the top of your life. So it's a perfect card for, how do I say, it's like the perfect card for cycling out your life cards when you're at 1 life. But otherwise, it's a little bit lackluster, I will say. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. Back to the game. So he's going to swing 7 into my 6K body here, tapping down my Doflamingo, but I'm not letting him have that. I've got 2Ks for days right now. He's not getting that card that free. So right here, I've got a few options. That ace is annoying, okay? And I already know what my top card is, so I can't really play out the Kaido just yet. I play out the Jinbei, which plays out Trafalgar Law. He should aggressively counter out of this because he knows I have Trafalgar Law on the board. But that's okay. Aggressively countering out means I get other free attacks in here. He gets Frankie. And now, you know, honestly, if he did... Well, he does. He has the blocker. Excuse me. I was going to say, guys, I should just swing all in here. I probably could have gone. Like, that was 6 on. I had 7 altogether. I probably... Let me just pause it for a second. I could have put 5... So I could have swung for 6 and 7, I think, with Perona and Doflamingo. Because with 7 Dawn... I could have gone 5 and 2. Yeah, I could have swung for 6 with Doffy and then 7 with Perona or vice versa and tried to go for game there. But I don't think there's any point in getting greedy like that because I'm in a commanding position in this game. Okay, so he swings into my Jinbei. It's his turn. He's trying to take out my characters. Boa Hancock just like set him back an entire turn because now his what's his name, Ace, has like almost no value right now. Okay, it can't attack for a whole turn, but is he even going to survive another turn? 8 into 6, I'll just give him my blocker. I'm tempting him to swing in with that Shaka. He doesn't do it. And now it is an uphill battle, I must say, because I can go 7, 9, and the rest on Doflamingo. Let's see what he does. He does still have a blocker, though. He does still have a blocker, but I still think that's the way to do it. I don't remember exactly what I do here. Okay, it looks like I might swing 8 first with my guy. Okay, so swing 8, playing out the Gecko Mori, because I know it's on top of my life. He blocks it. So I'm like, oh okay. So I guess I play it the safe route, but I'm pretty sure I could have just won the game there, to be honest with you guys. Okay, so take out the Frankie there, play out another Boa Hancock. He set back a whole nother turn. I have 8,000 power, technically 9,000 power in hand of counter power. So I'm like, okay, let's just let him do what he's going to do. 9 Dawn, he's probably going to play out a Yamato. But that's okay. 2K there. And I'm sure it's going to be Yamato, right? If he has... Or yeah, excuse me, he has 10 Dawn, so it might be another ace. Excuse me. So yeah, he plays out ace. 10 into 8. He probably thought he was going to get that. Nope. Now I think I go for the final blow here. There's just no way out of this. We'll go 2 9s to start off and see what he gives me. Okay. I think I'm waiting for the trigger here. And no trigger, so swing 9. He should counter out of this if he can, if he's trying to win. Okay, nope. In that case, we're going to go for 14. 14 into 5, and even if he does somehow counter out of this, I have a 5 and a 6 coming. GG. Okay, that was a fun one there. Vegapunk, like I said, his day's coming, I think, where he's going to be a decent deck, but it's not yet. Okay, last one on the sim, guys. This was a pretty good game here versus Purple Yellow Crocodile. Guys, this is a very strong leader, I have to say. Now that it got a few cards that it needed in Miss Wednesday, right? Yeah, I believe Miss Wednesday. And then Oh Come My Way. Those 2 cards that it got are, like, they're excellent. They're exactly what, I think they're exactly what the deck needed. Okay, swing 7 into him, use my leader effect. I knew it was going to be Doffy because I set it there with Perona. Now I'm going to set the cards the way I want them. I want another Perona. And then I'll be able to play out the Jinbei before activating the Perona, on my turn if I need to, blah, blah, blah. We're just setting up the top of our deck here. Swinging 6 into 5. I do not like to take life in this deck aggressively. I'd rather take it later. Okay. So actually, I do my Prona first. That was kind of a play mistake in my opinion. I was getting greedy there, trying to get a better play from the Jinbeis, but I should have done the Jinbei first and then Prona, in my opinion, to set up for next turn. So go ahead and play out the Jinbei still. Play out the Trafalgar Law. I'm swinging in for 8. He needs to aggressively counter out of this, or I'm going to use the Trafalgar Law. He does. Very smart. You know, that Trafalgar Law kind of forces plays, which I really like about it. But my board's full. My board, you know, it should be said, or it does need to be said, that my board is completely full right now, guys. I have, now 2 of them are kind of, you know, not great with the Peronas, but Doflamingo, that's a nice blocker I can put 1 Dawn on and attack with. Jinbei's 5k I can attack with. Okay, right here, I'm going to give him a 2k counter, because I know he's trying to play something out for 7. I think it's probably like 7 cost Lin. No, plays out a Miss Wednesday and Kikinojo. Very interesting. Now, I pull the trigger early on this Gravity Blade Raging Tiger because I just want these cards off the board. They're going to give him too much value. I'm going to swing 5 into him, see what he gives me. 5 is an annoying number, right? It's like, okay, do I have to give him a card? Nope, he just takes it. Doesn't want to give me a blocker. I'm swinging 5 more. He has to take, like, he had to use a card from hand there, or I was going to use my Trafalgar Law to make him lose a card. So, like, I kind of had him in a forced position there where he had to use the card from hand, or he's going to get punished from the 4-cost Trafalgar Law on the board. Okay, swing 6 into 5. I actually drew a 2k counter for the turn, but I did know it was coming from my searchers, or my top 5 arrangement cards. Okay, and I think finally, for the first time of this entire, you know, okay, not this turn, obviously. Play out the 4-cost, what's his name, Mihawk there. I think this game I actually play the Kaido. Spoiler warning, but I think I finally play a Kaido in this game. And I will say that's where Kaido seems to be best, is against the decks that are running some type of yellow or maybe even green, where you're trying to go late in the game. Well, then you can drop this 10-cost beater down that draws you 4 more new cards, and from there you can, like, do some good stuff. Okay, so he swings 6. I missed what would happen. Or excuse me, I was swinging here. Swing 7. Was that just taking forever because he was deciding? Oh, nice. Swing 8. Now I hit him with that Trafalgar Law. I've got a 2k counter in hand now. He had to lose a card from hand. That card is so good, guys. That new 4-cost Trafalgar Law from OP-07, the 2k counter, brutal, annoying, frustrating, everything, man. This deck says, you know, it's like I was saying earlier, this is such a frustrating deck to play against in certain situations where it's like, okay, first I'm going to look at the top 5 cards on my deck and arrange them exactly the way I want them. You're going to have to wait for me to do that, by the way. Then I'm going to play them out, you know, do this, that, and the other. Then I'm going to, you know, play out cards that make you lose, you know, lose cards from hand, shuffle your hand up like with puddings, Gravity Blade Raging Tigers to bottom deck all your mid-range cards. It's just so nice. Okay, 9 into 5, I'm going to take that. Not using Red Rock there. I'd rather use it on the Croc later. But he's at 1 life. Like, you know, it's not like this game is going well for him. So this is where I finally decide, okay, we're going to play out the 10-cost Kaido. We're going to do it, guys. We're finally going to do it. So I swing 5, gives me a 1k counter. Or something there. He trashed a card with the characters, the 8-cost Crocs effect to do that. He took that 5, or instead of taking the 5 there or countering out, he actually used a blocker to stay at 1 life. Okay, that's fine with me. I play out 10-cost Kaido, completely refill my hand, and we're in pretty good shape here. 7 into 5, just let it go. I could easily counter out of it a few times, but why? Why would I do it? I'll give him a 2k counter for the 6 attack. The 9... I do take that, and I think I should take it out. I shouldn't use a block or anything there. Okay, so right here is actually a really good turn for me. I'm going to swing 12 into 9. Let's see what he gives me, because I still have a Red Rock in hand, guys. So this turn, it really depends on what he does here. So he uses the 2 Crocodiles effects to draw 2 Trash 2, basically, you know, because he did 2 of them. And now I'm going to swing 6 into 6 here. Let's see what he gives me, which... Oh man, when he gave me that, I was like, wow, this game's feeling like it's over now. So I set up a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger on the top, so that way in case he fills out the board this turn again, it's all going away, and I've got this massive board, 2 blockers, 10 cost 12k. You know, we're feeling good right about now. And one thing I will say about this deck that I like better about Kaido, the 10 cost Kaido in this deck versus Boa Hancock, is Boa Hancock already draws a bunch of cards with her leader's effects, like inherently. And then whenever you use the 10-cost 12k Kaido in that deck, the one that bounces 2, you still get to draw a card from that if you have 5 or less cards in hand. But in Doflamingo, I have no ways to draw cards. I have ways to arrange the top of my deck. And yeah, I can draw cards with like Edward Weevil, but I think you guys see what I'm saying. It's a lot different. Okay, so he plays out the Miss Valentine. Does a top five search there. I go ahead and play out a card. And I think, oh, this was the game. Oh my gosh, guys, look what just happened. I almost forgot I even did this game, guys. I accidentally, so I was going to swing 12 with Kaido, and then I was going to replace Perona with Doflamingo. And look what happens, guys. Like, okay, so I fill the board out. Sorry, guys, so this is where I filled the board out with the Edward Weevil. Now, I was like, wait a minute, let me attack first. I still had my card on deploy, and I got rid of my 12 cost, or my 10 cost 12k Kaido. I was so tilted after that, guys. Watch, I make another play mistake in this game. I was in full tilt mode after that, guys, because he should be at 1 life right now, and then next turn I finish out the game. My Perona would be gone. I'd have 2 blockers, 2 Weevils, and a 10 cost 12k on the board, and I just flat out messed up. It wasn't a blunder of like what I wanted to do. It was a blunder of how I used the system. It was like a misclick situation. You see what I'm saying? Oh man, that was so frustrating, but it happens. It happens, right? Okay, so he swings in 6 there. The game is still like, I'm so far ahead at this point, it didn't even matter. We're going to swing out for 7 here. This is where I make another grave mistake here. I'm like, oh, he has no life, but this is purple-yellow. He still has another card that he can use called Oh Come My Way, right? I think. Or do I not? Maybe I don't this turn. Well, okay, it's not as bad of a play mistake looking back. He does use it here, the Oh Come My Way. But what I was going to say is what I should have done there instead was just swing normal and just Red Rock both these cards off the board. Or not Red Rock, Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, both these cards off the board. I made 2 insane play mistakes, guys, but I was at such a big advantage there that I pretty much just couldn't lose. But yeah, I was, like I said, I made that play mistake because I was tilted. Like, you know how it is, guys, where you're just like, you know, just growling at yourself, like, why did I do that? You're just so mad. That's what happened in that game. So right here, he's decided I have to go all in, or maybe not. He attacked face for some reason, then attacked into my characters. I didn't give him anything. So that's for sure a game at this point. It's like, okay, won't make that mistake again. We're going 7 5 times. Good luck. With 4 cards in hand, we're going 7 5 times. Good luck. Okay. Yeah, that's plus 1,000 for the turn. I will say that Flame Split card, not too bad. He gives him plus 1,000 for the turn, and he tapped down one of my guys, but then he still had a 2k counter out of that because it was 7. Swing 7 into 6, and I think, does he have one come my way? Yep, redirects it to there. And right here, I Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. It's like, no, you're not doing any more Oh Come My Ways. We're getting this over with right here. But okay, that was that. Good game. Really good game to my opponents there. All right, so that was a lot of sim action, guys. I do apologize. That was a lot. We had to check out that montage at first, though, of people just rage quitting on the deck. But here's the list, guys, I'm running. This is the first place list as well from the, or not first place. This was the 9-0 list from the 3-on-3 tournament. And I have to say, by the way, I took Doffy off because, he would normally, he would normally be at the top there, but I like to have it, nice and neat on 2 rows. But I have to say, guys, this deck is running very well. I know there weren't a ton of meta leaders on here, but, that's just how it is sometimes on the sim. Sometimes they're on there, sometimes they're not. Now, as far as looking forward and what small tweaks to make, I think what I would like to do personally is what the one list did that we were looking at, where it's like no Gum Rains, go up the femur, where is it, the perfume femur, like go to 4 or 2 perfume femurs. Maybe go down one of these guys here, and maybe go up another Boa Hancock. Something along these lines, I think would just be a little bit better. And maybe, who knows, like if you want to, you can go down one Gecko Moria here and go up the other Gecko Moria. Where'd it go? I don't even see him. There he is. You could probably split these down the middle if you want to. This card is really nice, guys. Like, there's a great little combo that I've talked about before in the Boa Hancock video, where you can just play out Jinbei. Where is he? Play out Jinbei, this card right here, and then play out Gecko Moria with it, grabbing a 2k counter back out of your trash. Or in this deck, it's actually, see, I'm already running that back. This card can help you get back your cards like Doflamingo. Now, unfortunately, actually, and hang on one second, add up to 1 7 Warlords of the Sea or Gecko Moria type character with a cost of 4 or less, other than Gecko Moria, from your trash to your hand. So this card can get back Perona as well, guys. It can get back Doflamingo or Perona in this deck. I see this as an absolute 4 of, because it can get you back any of your 2K counters in here. The only card it can't get back is of course, the events, because it can only get back characters, right? Yeah, characters. So it can't get back any of the events, but who cares? The only thing it can't get you back is Boa Hancock and Kaido. And Pudding, technically Pudding. But everything else, this card you can snag back from your trash. Very high utility card. It's also 4 cost 5K. It's a 1K counter. This card's excellent. Big fan of this. Everything over here looks pretty good to me. And like I said, after making those small revisions, this is probably where I'd have it. I like having 3 puddings. I think 4 gets a little bit, a little bit bricky. Like, yeah, you can still use it as a 1K counter. Maybe that's what you do if you want. Like, maybe you go down 1 Boa Hancock to go up to Charlotte Pudding. Yeah, I don't know. It's up to you. But one thing I will say is this deck was performing very well. And the only adjustments I would make are very slight, because there's a certain balance going on. Y'all see what I'm saying? Now, yes, if you want to, you can run any of these 7 Warlords of the Sea card, or you can even run there's a Sengoku. This new Sengoku card is a 7 Warlords of the Sea Searcher card for 1. But I'm just going to be honest, guys. I don't think the deck needs it. I think it would rather just set your top 5 with Perona and Doflamingo and just start going face. Just face, nonstop. And I think that's like the big strength in a deck like this. And then your Gecko Moris can retrieve these back to keep giving you more and more power from the top of your deck. Really good stuff there. And the 2K counters, like I said, it's running quite a few. It's running, let's see, 4 Laws, 4 Mihawks, 4 Crocodile. And then everything else is pretty much a 1K counter in the deck, with a few exceptions. Like, Boa Hancock, Kaido, and Weevil are obviously not. The events aren't either, but these make it where you don't have to use counters, because you just wipe their board out. That's one more thing I will say. Until we get to OP-07, it might be a decent idea to go down Red Rocks and go up to 4 Gravity Blade Raging Tigers before we make it to OP-07. Well, I don't know. What am I talking about? You can't even run this deck until OP-07, to be honest. Because here's what this list gets from OP-07, guys. EB-01, it got Edward Weevil, which was huge. But this is what it got from OP-07. Jinbei, Trafalgar Law, Boa Hancock, and Crocodile. Like 4 absolutely core pivotal cards it got. And Perfume Themer, excuse me, I almost forgot. Even this like great finisher card in Perfume Themer. Excuse me. But yeah, that's about how it should be. Let me go ahead and put Red Rock back in. Okay, I would keep this list pretty close to this. There's probably some people who want to try out Mihawk. I think you should maybe try out Mihawk here and there. I don't even know what you'd take out for it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe because a lot of people might be thinking like, oh yeah, you could take out like the Red Rocks because this is a 9 cost that gets rid of a 7 or less, so it's like removal like that. But I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one, guys. These removal cards are so impactful. When you play these, it is going to ruin your opponent's day, because this card right here is taking 2 cards off the field, and this card's taking the biggest card they can play off the field. Like, oh, they just played their 10 cost Kaido. Okay, who cares? It's out of here. You know what I mean? It's just so powerful. And also, like I was saying, one other thing that's really strong about this deck is like these 2 cards, they're 6 and 7. Well, we only need 3 for our Leader's Effect. So we can actually, if we're playing out Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, we can actually still use our Leader's Effect or drop Doffy, because that, like on a 10 Dawn turn. And then likewise, if we play out a Boa Hancock for 6 or Red Rock for 6, we can still play out like a Jinbei and fill out the board with something like a Weevil or a Doflamingo or a Law, whatever. Like, there's so many options there. This card as well, I know I already talked about it a lot in the video. Very, very good card. Very solid 2K counter, especially when you can load up 4 like I did in that last game, swing 8, force them to take a card, and then force them to lose a card, bringing this back to your hand. Now you have a 2K counter in hand to counter out with next turn, and they have no target to attack into. Seems good, right? Seems good. There's a few cards to look at. Like this is a OP-01 Gecko Moria, 4 cost 5K, 1K counter. If you have 5 or more cards in your hand, this character gains double attack. I don't know how often, I don't know how frequently we'll have that many cards in hand, because like I said, I guess if you take life aggressively, you could have a character like this have a lot of, like, be able to do a lot. But I would rather just keep my life high, to be honest, and my hand count low, so that way I can play into something like Kaido. That way I have a reason to really drop my Kaido on curve and like get maximum value out of it, because I'm saving my board from all these attacks. Trying to think of anything else, guys. That's pretty much it. This 6 cost 8K vanilla. Mihawk would be cool to run, but it doesn't have a lot of synergy with what we're doing, because if we're adding another 6 cost card, it's probably Boa Hancock. Let's just be honest. This is an interesting one here, you know, but this is more for like the Impel Down engine, the 4-cost 5K Boa. Draw 1 and trash 1. Then trash up to 3 cards from your hand if you want to. That's an if, or you may, right? It says trash up to 3 cards, so you can trash 0. But this card's interesting for the draw 1, trash 1 when attacking, and it is 7 Warlords of the Sea. But it's not really what we're trying to do. In fact, if we were trying to include a card like this, I think we would just go with just straight up Boa Hancock. Ooh, sorry, guys. Had like a twitch there. What else? I think, like I said, that's about it, guys. I don't have a lot to add to this list. I am sorry. If you guys have anything you think should be added, say it down in the comment section below. One thing I think I was messing around with was like Kuma. Let me go to, where is, because I think it's just, yeah, Bartholomew Kuma is 7 Warlords of the Sea. However, his little bots, the little Pacifista bots, are not. Right? Oh, here's the one I'm looking for. Like this card, the 4-cost 5K Kuma is really nice for everything you'd want for 7 Warlords of the Sea. But it's running that it has this on-KO Pacifista interaction that's just not really as good. From that point, you would have to take the deck, I feel like, in a totally different direction. Like, maybe what you could do at that point is, like, make a Navy/7 Warlords of the Sea deck, and then I don't think you should be running it in Doflamingo. Like, that'd be something more for, like, Boa Hancock, maybe, because then you could search up your Navy stuff, you know, maybe have a Tashigi that can search up Sengoku. Sengoku can search up your other guys, and it just keeps bouncing around like that. But they would be able to search up cards like Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, which would be really interesting. But again, I don't even think that'd be something to go down for Doflamingo. Let me get back to Warlords real quick. Because of, excuse me, guys, because of how strong this leader interaction is with the 7 Warlords of the Sea stuff, I think that's what we should be sticking with. And one card to consider, there's 2 other cards I would really consider. First of all is Trafalgar Law. This is a 1-cost, 1,000 power blocker, 7 Warlords of the Sea. It's just a nice utility card as like a 1 or 2 of in the deck that could get you there in certain situations, who knows. But one thing I will say is now that we have a card like Boa Hancock, this almost stops an attack like what Trafalgar Law would do while establishing a massive body on the board. So it kind of works in a more aggressive way in the same way, right? It works in the same way, but in a more aggressive way. And then the other one is this. I think this card is still decent because it's bouncing a 7 back to the owner's hand. Now, let's see. 7 is that kind of magic number 2 in the deck, you know, just like how Gravity Blade Raging Tiger is. This allows you to play out this guy, and then with 3 Dawns still use your leader effect, or play out the other Doflamingo. There is some potential there. Requires a little bit of setup, and I wouldn't run more than 2 of these in the deck anyway, but it could be something to mess around with for people who are really interested in trying this deck out and trying to tech it out and make it, you know, unique and even better, especially for your locals. Like if you're playing... If your locals is full of just, well, what are some big 7-cost cards? I don't want to, you know, spend all this time thinking about it, but like, if you think this card will be better for your locals, let me say it like that. If you think this card would be better for your locals, you should try it. But otherwise, I do think that the list you're looking at here is just nice and clean and like refined, and it pilots very well. All right, I think I'm done rambling, guys. Let me make sure. Yeah, that was all I wanted to talk about. I'm pretty sure, guys, because there's a few others you can look at on here. You can scroll through on the sim, like this old promo card. But when Doffy won a while back, I want to say it was like an OP-03 or OP-04. It was a long time ago now. But whenever that was, this card, you know, went for oodles. Like this card got so expensive because it was a promo Jinbei, and it was like the last card it needed in the deck to have like a 4-cost 5K get cheat into play, and the on KO was just decent. It wasn't even that great, or unless it was the other another promo Jinbei. No, I think this was it. Y'all help me out in the comment section below if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'm done rambling. Please do not forget to like, subscribe. Let me get my the Patreon screen up. Big shout outs to everybody who supports this channel. Thank y'all so much, guys. For everyone who watches the channel, shares it, comments, you know, subscribes, and all that good stuff, guys. I appreciate everyone. And a big shout out to my patrons, to the guys that do help me in the ways that they can. You guys are incredible. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, I sound like a broken record now. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.